Come paint with me today as we paint a wonderful winter snowy landscape. This is a really beautiful landscape. I was inspired by this wonderful blue. This design can be turned into a Christmas card or just a fun painting. So we made a circle with a cup, and we're going to start off with some masking fluid. Masking fluid does dry out a little bit. It's quite rubbery. So I'm using the back of a paintbrush and I'm just going to put in some spots to represent snow. On my beautiful little house here, it's got a snowy roof, and I'm just going to block that out because I want to keep that white. I'm going to go in with a super dark blue, and I'm just going to paint in this cute little house. So here we are. Just painting it in. I've blocked out the window because you'll see what will happen later in the video with that window, and I'm going to leave the door white for it to stand out. I'm using some high contrast here, and I want to keep some bright whites and then the darker blues later on. This is a little landscape, so here we go with our landscape. And this is just a mountainous area. The snow has fallen, it's quiet, it's beautiful. I've got a darker blue and an even darker blue, and I'm just spreading it out. And you'll see where my masking fluid is because it's going to keep those spots white for us. Going in with the darker blue around the edges, and I'm just going to spread that around. I dabbed off some paint a little bit to give it a little bit of texture here in the foreground, and I'm going to dab in some different blues. This is going to give me some dimension and interest to the painting. Such a wonderful little landscape, and I'm just going to add some more dimension here, spreading it out and dragging it back with a dry brush. I'm working in the wet and wet technique, so I'm going to go into my background now, and I'm just going to start off wet, and then I'm going to dab in the blue, which is going to spread so beautifully. I love watching how the paint spreads like this, and then just painting in around the sides all the way down, leaving the edges darker than the middle. It's almost like being in a blizzard. And just imagine being so cozy in that little cottage while the snow falls outside and it's freezing cold, but you're all cozy in your little house. What a wonderful feeling. And as the season draws near, where if you are where you snow, then how does that feel when it gets really cold? I live in a very hot country, so we have summer right now, but we can't help but get involved with the aesthetic of these snowy winters. So just dragging this color around, adding some dimension here and there. And here we are with the top of this little bauble decoration looking thing. It's quite cute. And you can use this as a Christmas card. You can give it to your family. It will be really cute to unwrap a gift with such a homemade little decoration on the front. So this, I just used some yellow, which is a complementary color. It's like an orangey, almost golden ochre that I mixed up. For the trees, I'm just using a simple technique that I've used in previous videos. So if you want to know how these trees are done, just go back on those videos and you'll see how we made some simple trees. It's just dragging the brush around. It's really easy. Previous tutorials I have done, there are many, many different kinds of trees. So here I just did them lightly. And this is going to give us some background dimension. And working towards the front, I want to go with some darker trees and a darker blue, just to have them stand out some more. And I'm going in quite haphazardly here. It's very small, so we're just going to go very simply with our details. I love this technique of these scraggly trees. You just drag the brush around. It's almost like those trees are just there. It was at this point that I tried to get creative and do a little bit of a splatter, because everyone loves a little bit of splatter on a painting, right? And then I freaked out and didn't know if it was the right thing to do. It looks okay, but then I went in the brush and tried to fix this bit. Thankfully, it was wet enough to come loose, and did a little bit of extra spots just for some dimension. So I got my light and my dark. It turned out good. I'm happy with it. And it did give it the little bit of dimension that I thought it would. So that's all right. So here we are. I'm just adding these little details into the window. It's so cute at this point. I'm loving it. What do you think? How do you think this is turning out? If you're still here in this video, comment snow globe so I know you're still here. So then I got this pickup rubber cement eraser. This is probably one of the best ways to remove this masking fluid situation that you put on your pictures. But do make sure that your painting is dry before you start doing this, because it will smudge. It did smudge up there. I'm trying to fix it, and I did manage to fix it, so it's okay. But make sure your painting is dry enough before you try and lift that masking fluid. Going in, all you got to do is just drag it over. It's such a little helpful tool. You can use a normal eraser, but you do run the risk of damaging the paper underneath. So I find these rubber cement erasers lift only the masking fluid, which is rubber based. So they gel together. And then adding one last little detail to this picture to make it complete. A little bit more there on the top. And our window, this little glowing window, just brings the whole thing to life. You just know someone's cozy inside. Oh, and it looks so beautiful. I was really happy with how this turned out. I'm so glad I did this picture. What do you think?